Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bayou Chronicles. We're your host. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Bethany.
And we are officially in the month of August, which means we are slowly inching closer to the cooler months here in Louisiana. It has been over 100 just about every day. I was hoping the rain that we had today would cool it down just a little bit, and it kind of did.
But for a little bit.
But it's just now it's very hot and humid.
Muggy.
Yes, very muggy. It also means it's time to officially start decorating for Halloween. Yes. I'm going to go Halloween shopping tomorrow, probably after we get our tattoos. So if you want to go with me, you can.
I'll go with you.
I don't know if I'm going to buy anything.
I like to just look.
But that's what I want to do. I may buy one or two things. I'm looking for 2 wreaths, but I'm definitely going to look at everything. This is kind of rambling. I'm sorry. But I did something that was totally out of my comfort zone, and I called like all the major places and asked them if their Halloween stuff was out yet last weekend, and they were like, oh no, but we should have it out by next weekend. And I never call people and ask them stuff. So
100%.
You can tell that's how excited I needed about it. I was like, all right, I will call. I even talked to somebody at a store for like 10 minutes about Halloween stuff.
Ooh.
That's how much I wanted Halloween stuff. But anyway, just a quick reminder to everyone out there that next week will be the month of August Twitch stream. Make sure you join us over on Twitch Sunday night, 14th at 8 p.m. Central. We adore our Twitch stream nights. They are probably the most fun things that we do. Last month's was so much fun. We had a bunch of people chatting in the thing.
We laughed. So we got off topic a lot.
Oh, so much. I think it took us like an hour before we actually got to the topic we were talking about.
It was just fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I feel like our Twitch streams are so just laid back and thing. I think we probably are going to move to only like uploading them to YouTube or having them on Twitch and not recording them, just because it makes it a little confusing.
Yeah, when you're listening to the podcast, and hearing
us. Those are some of our. They are some of our really like most listened, but it is just a whole lot of work, and I kind of like the draw of having people to
and it does do good on. They do very well on YouTube.
Yeah, so just keep an eye on that. But yeah, last month was fun. We talked about the moon landing and a bunch of like hilarious conspiracies that Bethany found on Reddit, and that just led to 18 million rabbit holes.
Doctor Who, and then movies, and then other conspiracies, and the Chinese government somehow, because James brought it up.
We just talked about so much. It was so much fun though. We had a bunch of topics thrown at us for this next one that I will be doing. I think we decided on like a cult, or what did we decide? I didn't pick anything, but I know that we mentioned doing a cult or something else.
We asked if they would like you to talk about a sciencey thing or a cult, and I feel like they all were leaning towards a cult.
Yes, a cult. I just gotta find the right one. Don't know what yet. Be on the lookout for those in the next coming months. We're definitely going to be doing them. The executive assistant helped me get my fancy camera set up so that when we have to start doing these apart, it's going to be looking. It's going to be look awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to look awesome. I did find out though, if we pay and get the Streamlabs Pro or whatever, we can do multiple high quality streams and not just have to like bring the little window open, and then we can start streaming automatically to like Facebook too. So you can do Facebook and Twitch at the same time.
Oh.
So
did not know that.
Maybe we can convince the executive assistant and my husband to go in on that as a Christmas present. So, if y'all are listening to this, that's what we want.
We'll question Tyler.
Yeah.
If he says something about an episode.
Yeah, there you go. Well, today Bethany is going to be telling us about the Amazon review killer. This was actually requested by our executive assistant, Zach. So, I know he's been patiently waiting for us to do this, so I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, so before I get started, this was a lot. Like, when I tell you, there was so much, and this man likes to talk, and he was kind of doing the whole mysterious taking claims for things that might not, and then there was just so much. There were so many that if I were to talk about each and every incident, we would be here for hours, and I already feel like this might be a long one.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to get through this, because we're trying to get our acts together and, like, just have stuff prepared before. But as Crystal said, we can thank our executive assistant, Zach, for today's episode. It's been on the Google Doc for, I want to say a year.
It's been on the Google Doc for a while.
It's been on there for a year, and I finally, like, backspaced on it and got it off of it. We were literally laying in bed one night, and he goes, "You guys have got to talk about this dude." Crystal was just asking me this on the last episode, if Zach does this. And yes, he does, all the time. He's like, this is his words, not mine. He's like, he's got serious balls, is what he said. And I was like, okay, what's it called? Like, he just was, like, very excited about it, and he, like, came and, like, brought me his phone. He was like, he's called the Amazon Review Killer. That was the cat. She's attacking Crystal.
And, like, she, like, drew blood.
She is a kitten and doesn't understand to, like, pick me up. So she, like,
come here,
climbs your leg. But I was in shock because I was like, Amazon Review Killer, like, we have been Amazon Prime members for, like, almost 10 years, and I was like, how have I never heard of this?
I know, I'd never heard of it until you told me either.
I've never read a weird, I mean, I have read some weird reviews.
Hey, that's one of the podcast ideas that I want to have, is just where we read hilarious reviews.
I'm down for that. We should get that going. But, so I headed over to YouTube. First off, this guy, he doesn't look like I was expecting, but, like, what would an Amazon Review Killer look like?
I mean, they all look kind of weird. Does he have glasses?
No. He just looks like
a normal dude.
A normal dude that would probably have played football in high school.
Oh, so kind of a jock.
Probably has a couple kids and a wife.
Okay.
Just average dude. But then I was like, Bethany, what would one Amazon killer look like? I was reading too much into it. But today we're going to discuss the Amazon Review Killer, Todd Kohlhepp.
Kohlhepp?
And I know that's how you pronounce it because I watched like 5 documentaries, and unless every single one of those detectives pronounced it wrong, is Kohlhepp.
Kohlhepp.
An American serial killer that murdered, this is what I was talking about, okay? I'm going to say at least 7, alright?
Okay.
Hang in here with me, because there's a lot. And this is a fairly new case. He's still being interviewed. He's actually, we'll get there at the end. He's been sentenced, but there's still some trials going on for him. For other stuff. That's why I said I might have to do part 2 on this.
Okay.
There's just a lot. But as of now, 2022, 7 people.
Okay.
In South Carolina from 2003 to 2016. And 2003, it might be before that. They just still have a lot of stuff, and this man likes to talk.
Okay.
And they can't get him to stay on focus long enough. They'll be questioning him, and then he'll go on to talk about something he bought on Amazon. Like, literally, they were questioning. This is how it went. This was the first documentary me and Zach watched when he was like, airdrop it to the TV. So I airdropped it. To the TV. I think that's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hip. And it was like, they were like, you're here for so-and-so. We're going to get to that. I just didn't want to say the name yet. And he was like, yeah. Yeah, I did that. And that's how he talked. And he was like, and then I bought this dog collar off of Amazon, and it was one of those weird ones. I'm not into all that you can, like, put the leash on them and lead them around. And, like, the detective wasn't even asking him anything about that.
Heck, man?
So, he's got, like, ADHD or something. So that's why I said I could not put all the info into just one episode, because there's still a lot of stuff that they have to
So what you're saying is we should go watch this documentary?
Yes, you have to watch it. I'll send a link to you. But we are going to talk about all the other stuff, because he has confirmed, and they actually got him to sit down and focus. But it's like, that movie Up. What's the dog's name? Doug? Is that his name? When he's like squirrel. This man could be.
This is the epitome of it?
Yes,
okay.
because that's how the interview was. The detectives, God bless them, they were really trying to do their job, and they just let him talk. And they'd be off, and he'd be like, yeah, and then I went and got this thing off Amazon, and it was really nice, and I left them a really nice review, and they were like, sir, what?
we asked about this murder, sir.
Yeah. So, South Carolina from 2003 to 2016.
This is a Wendy's.
Yes,
that's what it made me think of.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
So, this is fairly recent. 2016 isn't that long ago. He was actually born in Fort Lauderdale on March 7th, 1971. I just included this because we're not going to talk about Florida at all.
Okay.
But he was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So, it was just that him and his mom and dad moved to South Carolina. So, in May of 2014, strange reviews started popping up on Amazon under the alias Me. So, like, Emmy.
Okay.
Me. That was it. You know how when you leave a review, you can, like, put your name if you want, or you can do it anonymously? It just said Me.
Okay.
Okay. Most of the items being tactical equipment, such as knives, e-tools, even books on how to properly fight, like combat books and war books.
Okay.
And, like, military training books and stuff like that. More than likely, like I said, it was a good... They didn't specifically say, but I'm just going to guess it was all military level reading material. He loved to review padlocks. Padlocks were his thing. Okay. And in the interview, in the documentary, he could name every single type of lock, padlock, out there.
Okay.
Right? The man knows his locks. Okay. Whatever. I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not creepy at all.
One review that was creepy to me personally, because I actually have one in my garage right now. I promise I've not used it to murder somebody. He reviewed a military grade e-tool, which an e-tool is basically a small shovel that folds up. I feel like everybody.
Yeah.
They are using the military a lot, especially when you're like out in the field and stuff, and that's where Zach got his.
Yeah.
You get it issued to you. I think he got it when he was deployed or something, and it literally just folds up.
Yeah.
And his review stated, keep in the car for when you need to bury the body and don't have a full-size one on hand.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the funny thing is like if I saw that on Amazon right now, I think it would be funny. I'd be like,
Bingo.
that's a joke.
Bingo.
That's a joke.
Bingo. Because I know Crystal doesn't like them, but BuzzFeed, okay, had a video on this dude, and it was actually funny. Okay, it was actually funny, and they.
Was it the two guys?
No, it's a new one. That's why I said you gotta watch their new stuff.
Okay,
They got a new guy.
Okay.
And he's like us.
Okay.
He's cool. He likes talking about the victims, and then he's like, killers are really stupid, and he's like XYZ, and he says that too. He also streams on Twitch.
Okay.
So he made a channel for BuzzFeed on Twitch, and he streams on there, and he lets people ask questions about the case, and they kind of do like us.
Okay.
I like him. I don't know. But that's what he said. He was like, I would probably think it was just somebody.
I would like it.
Yeah. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like the little, like, this was helpful.
Really this guy's quirky.
Yeah.
You know? And he says it's probably us becoming desensitized and stuff like that. It just happens, or we either just think it's a joke.
Yeah.
So he was like,
because realistically, who's going to
Who's
say
really
that
out
and
here?
really using it for that purpose?
Todd Kohlhepp. Yes. Todd Kohlhepp. And this man is out here, and he loves him some Amazon. All right?
I guess so.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. That was 2014 that's when they went back, because obviously Amazon probably had to like cover their butts for this. I mean, they didn't know this man, but that was when the first review was found. Was summer of 2014
when he published it.
The first review.
Okay.
Okay, that's not when the first thing happened. That's when he
published his first thing.
Yeah, maybe I should start reviewing this stuff. It's pretty good. But let's back up a little. When Kohlhepp was just 15 years old, he kidnapped and raped a young Arizona woman. I'm sorry I didn't do a trigger warning.
Gosh.
I'm sorry. When I was doing this, when I'm watching stuff and my brain's I'm just like writing notes feverishly down. And sometimes I don't leave myself a warning in my notes. Like, hey, Bethany, you're about to talk about something extreme. So I apologize. But he was 15. Okay.
And how old was this girl?
Okay, so we're going to get there. And I know I just mentioned Arizona, but it's going to make sense.
Okay.
I know I just said that he lived in South Carolina.
Okay.
During this time, he had moved to Arizona to live with his father, William Sampsell, in 1984. Okay. His parents had gotten divorced. His mom had gotten remarried. Things weren't working out for him, so he moved to Arizona where his dad had moved for work to maybe start fresh. Okay. So this was 1984. He was 15. No, he wasn't 15 yet. He's 13 at the time. Okay. When he first moved there. His father in interviews has clearly stated his son dealt with, he called it internal anger issues. I don't know
what that means.
I didn't know there was internal and external anger issues. I thought you just had like,
anger issues.
You know, general anger issues. But he always refers to it as internal anger issues, which made me feel...
Maybe he meant like he didn't take it out on people?
It made me feel internal anger issues because he says it that way. But like, yeah, maybe. But
that's the only thing I could think.
But...
like he took it out on himself. I don't know.
He said that his son... I feel like a parent knows their child more than anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Some. No. He said he never felt any emotion except anger and frustration. Like,
that's
he was
weird.
Never happy. He was never like a calm child. He was never happy. He was just always like mad.
Okay.
Like, it's really sad to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so he moved there in 1984 when he was 13. 2 years later, when he's 15, on November 25th, 1986, he kidnapped and raped a young girl. And it happened to be his 14-year-old neighbor, Christy Granado.
Aww.
Yeah, it's really sad. They live literally right next door. Like, literally right next door.
That's crazy.
He held her at gunpoint, ushering her over to his house. So he had gone over there and knocked on the door, and he was like, hey, your boyfriend's over at my house. You want to come hang out? And at first she was like, shout out to her. She was smart. She was like, why would my boyfriend be over? They weren't, like, friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, why would my boyfriend be at your house? And she was, like, gonna say no. And that's when he pulled out the gun, and he was like, come to my house now. So
that's not creepy at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is, you know what happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He had his way with her, and I really feel for Christy. That's awful. 15 years old, gunpoint, kidnapping your neighbor, and then doing this to her. So, Todd Kohlhepp obviously was caught. Christy was a smart girl. She immediately went home and told her parents what was up. Parents called 911. Detective came over immediately, and he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. At just 15 years old. That blew my mind. Okay,
that's
15,
insanity.
I don't even remember what I was doing at 15, so I don't know why I said that, because I won't be able to tell you. It was probably something, I'm assuming, boring. But
I will say, your mom's been posting pictures of you when you were younger,
mm-hmm.
and every time I look at them, I say, man, I feel like Bethany would have not been my friend when we were teenagers.
Oh, I was a loser. Don't say that. I did not have friends.
You looked so cool, though. You were so pretty, and I was like, she would have not been my friend at all.
I was the typical outcast. I dressed way different than everybody at school. Everybody was very preppy. I pride myself. I had this really kick-ass brass knuckles bracelet.
Uh-huh.
Oh god, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I had like this spiky studded belt that I would wear, and I just thought like I was the stuff. But then nobody liked me, and I didn't have friends. But I was also afraid to talk to people. So my only friend is now my husband, so it's really sad. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Oh, yeah. 15 years in prison.
I'm very torn up about Christy. Don't link me. All this laughing is nervous laughter, and then Crystal. I guess
I distracted you.
I guess I look. I didn't think I was pretty or popular.
I thought,
So.
I've been looking at all these pictures and being like, man, should not have been my friend.
No, it was, I hated high school. Anyways. So she tells her parents, they send out a female detective.
He gets 15 years in prison.
Yes, he gets 15 years in prison. Okay, so she goes to the home to arrest him, the detective. And when asked during his interview why he did it, okay, so she goes, she arrests him, and she says that when she gets there, he still has the gun in his hand. And she, like, calmly gets the gun away from him. I think he was in shock also, and arrests him and take him. And when they get them downtown, they read him his rights. You know, did all that, and they were just like, why did you do it? Like, you're so young, you're both young. And he was like, I was angry with my father.
What the heck?
His dad had left him for the weekend to go on a business trip.
And so he raped somebody because he was mad at, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my
He
entire
was
life.
mad for his father leaving him home alone. So he took the gun out of his dad's gun safe and kidnapped.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's literally.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
So he did the full 15, and he was released in 2001. He never had a single visitor while he was in prison.
So he was 30 when he got out?
He was 30. His mom didn't visit him. His dad, that was in the same
This
state.
is a sad life.
His stepdad didn't come visit him. No cousins, no friends, aunts, uncles, no. Can you imagine 15 years in prison and never having a single visitor?
That means there was nobody paying for you to get stuff
No
at the commissary items.
I mean, I can't say that. I don't know. If the boys ever committed something like that, I don't know if I could go visit them. I would still feel the need to because they're my child. But it would probably take me a little while because that's extreme.
That is extreme. I feel like he might still go see them, but it wouldn't be like,
it wouldn't be all loving probably. It would just be like, I'm here to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, you're still alive.
Here's some money.
Yeah, here's something, get you a candy bar this month. I don't know,
but 15 years? No.
That's insanity.
Nothing. Anyways, a little side note. You may have noticed Todd's last name doesn't match his biological father's.
No, I didn't even think about
William Sampsell.
that.
Todd Kohlhepp. Yeah. Okay. I noticed that because I'm weird. And I had to do some digging. In 1976, Todd was legally given his stepfather's last name.
Okay.
And I felt impelled to add this because it'll make sense. It was an idea pushed solely by his mother.
No.
It wasn't like the stepfather wanted it or Todd wanted it. It was we're married now.
And we're a family.
All have the same. Yeah, I don't like.
I think that's
like
stupid.
That. I also don't like the mothers that push their children to say, "Dad."
It
should be the dad. It should be the kid's idea.
The first one that I ever hated that on is the first time I ever watched The Sandlot and how the mom always wanted him to call him Dad. I'm like, but it's not his dad. Like, he's not done a single thing to be a dad. Like, you have to earn that.
End, they have a cute little...
But, like, you have to earn the title of dad.
Also, it's awkward. Like, they do have dad. Like, he does have a dad.
Yeah.
He goes and lives with him.
Yeah.
Anyways, Todd actually despised his stepfather. He was extremely abusive. They did not get along at all.
Okay.
And that is actually why he left to go live in Arizona with his biological father. He even said in an interview, and I did say, take this as you will, because the man likes to talk and sometimes embellish. He said that his stepfather's dad, so...
His step-grandfather?
Stung him with cow prod.
Ow!
Ow! The thing hurt. Yeah. And
Jesus.
His stepfather, beat on him, and that's when he moved in 1984. But he was also lashing out at school. He was actually expelled.
Oh, Jesus.
From his school. He was a bully.
He's just a sucky dude from the beginning of time.
He would, if they had a project or something, he would go in the classroom and destroy everybody's project. He was just mean.
Just a horrible person.
That's what his dad said. In every interview, he's like, he just was never happy.
He was just a bad, horrible person.
Yeah, he just had a bad attitude. Which in all the interviews is so weird because he's like the nicest guy. And he's like chit-chatting it up with the detectives and...
That's weird.
Like, I like... or they talk about Little Caesar's Pizza and him like Mountain Dew, and it's like they're just palling around.
So random.
And I'm like, this dude doesn't seem angry at all to me. But I mean, I guess it's different. Maybe he's putting on a act for the police. Yeah. I don't know. But when he was released in 2001, he moved back to Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's where he originally moved before his parents. That's where he was living after he was born in Florida. He was now 30 years old. For several years, he kind of flew under the radar, falsifying job applications and applying mostly at retail places or like mom and pop local businesses in town that if you were to apply and work at...
They're not going to do a background
check. They're not going to do a background. They probably don't have the money or the way to do it. It's more than likely an elderly couple that, or an older family that owns a business. He kind of did that for several years. In 2003, he had another manic episode, as they called it. I don't know how they self-diagnosed this man, but in a lot of it, they said he has manic episodes.
Okay.
So, but, maybe they were, like, foreshadowing it, because when he is arrested, and anytime that you're arrested, they do a health evaluation on you, and they do a psychological evaluation. Mm-hmm. And he was actually diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
So, he's bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means, y'all. Because I know y'all will be like, what's borderline personality disorder?
I don't know why you had to whisper that.
There's always somebody. Very treatable. There's so many meds out there. Y'all, go to therapy. Okay?
Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, every one of them.
Just take it from me. The meds work. They really do. But he was finally evaluated and he was diagnosed with that. But while trying to make so this was in 2003. While trying to make a return at a local bike shop, like a
motorbike,
like a broom. Yeah, I don't know.
A vroom vroom.
You guys can't see me doing that.
I knew what you meant when you went like
this.
Yeah,
vroom vroom, not the little ding
ding. ding.
Yeah, I love me and Crystal at the same time. But he was trying to return a bike at a local shop, and he was laughed at. Like, they just laughed at him.
Oh my god.
They didn't really explain. There's not much on this. They didn't really explain it. He went in there and was like, the bike wasn't working for him. He just wanted to return it.
Why did they laugh at him?
They just laughed at him. This could be in his...
this could be in his mind. Yeah.
Happen. Honestly, I don't want to say it didn't, because this dude is bad. He does bad things. But I'm never going to discount anybody's
He could have just,
situation.
like, somebody could have laughed about something else, like over there was having a totally different conversation.
He could have been... I mean, he wasn't diagnosed yet. He could have been in a manic episode and heard, like Crystal said, and he was like, oh my god, they're laughing at me.
Yeah.
And freaked out, and that's what he has a little freak out in the store, and they ask him to leave. They just say, take it and leave. We're not doing the return. Mm-hmm. So he leaves. He went home and planned to kill them all.
Okay.
And got a gun. Waited till almost closing time or at closing time when there was very minimal on this. It was mainly like how they died and who it was, and which is good to have for them, but like I felt like some stuff was just missing and I just had to fill in the missing pieces. But he did return, and on November 6, 2003, Kohlhepp went back to the Superbike Motorsports store. That's a mouthful.
That is.
For a store. He shoots and kills the owner, 30-year-old Scott Ponder, his 52-year-old mother, Beverly Ponder, that helped him run the store, the manager of the store, 29-year-old Brian Lucas, and then he walks over to the other area. That was a nervous laughter, I promise. Because this is just a lot. This is like, how does this happen? He walks over to the, they sold bikes.
Repair shop?
Yeah, they sold bikes, but you could also bring your bike and get it repaired. So he walks over to the other area and shoots the youngest, 26-year-old store mechanic, Chris Sherbert. I'm assuming.
That's a cute name.
I'm assuming. It's literally spelled like sherbet, so I'm so sorry, but I
just think it's
gonna
cute.
go. Yeah, I like that. Kohlhepp gets away with this.
What?
For like over a decade.
What?
Yes, this happens in 2003. Like I said, he gets arrested in 2016. He gets away with this for like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
okay.
that's 4 people.
Yeah.
In one store.
Yeah.
Did not have cameras. Did nobody hear it? Did nobody see it?
Dang.
This is why I feel like it had to be at closing time. Or, I don't know.
Crazy.
I was just amazed. I don't know. This was a wild ride. Just killed 4 people, and he just got out of prison 2 years before. Did 15 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna go shoot 4 people. All because somebody laughed at him. Or may not have
even done anything.
I don't know. So now let's fast forward 3 years later to 2006, because that was 2003. Todd was tired of working retail. He wanted something more. He had expensive spending habits. Mm-hmm. He was I always get this saying mixed up, a champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man loved the finer things in life. He loved him some shopping, okay? Mm-hmm. He liked nice houses, nice cars. He loved him some Amazon. And the retail job was just not cutting it because he was basically getting paid under the table because he really couldn't, like, give his actual resume. You can't be like, hi, my name's Todd Kohlhepp, and I just did 15 years in prison for kidnap and rape.
And I just murdered 4 people and you don't know about it.
I just murdered 4 people 3 years ago.
And you don't know about it.
Hire me. So,
I'd like a job, please.
These small shops weren't cutting it. He had an Amazon shopping problem, like I said. The bills were adding up. Okay, so in 2006, after lying on multiple applications, like he had worked at like 5 or 6 places, and I'm amazed they had not like
caught on
or something. I don't know. He received his real estate license.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I feel like you have to do background.
I thought you did too.
I am now questioning some people on if you should be selling houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got his real estate license in 2006. That's actually kind of scary. Someone could do 15 years in prison, kill 4 people, and then sell you a house the next day.
Now, to be clear, if they were in 15 years in prison for selling weed and then were a real estate agent, that's totally different.
But like kidnapping and
right?
rape,
that's different.
At 15 years old with a gun,
that's different.
For murder? I mean, they don't know about this yet, but
still,
like, in his conscience, I don't know. This is just a lot. I don't know. Either these people are just like really bad at background checks, or he was just really good at falsifying and deceiving these people. And then after doing that, even that wasn't good enough. He was like, I need to run my own real estate company.
Okay.
So he actually started running his own real estate company from his home in Moore, South Carolina. He was really good at being a realtor. Like, he was bringing in the most money for the company he was working at, so he knew what to do, so that's when he just started his own.
Yeah.
I think this was like 2 years later, so 2008.
Wow. He's a go-getter when it comes to that.
So he would upgrade to a bigger property in Woodruff, South Carolina. I'm assuming that is how you... Woodruff.
Yeah. Woodruff, yeah.
Woodruff, South Carolina. He upgrades to a bigger property, 95 acres of land. It was 95 acres of land plus a house. He bought it for $300,000. Not today. What? That was in 2008.
That was mid-recession.
Yes.
That's why he probably got it for that price. But that is insanity. I wonder if it was a foreclosure.
To be exact, I don't know. I didn't dig that much. But to be exact, it was $305,000.
Oh
for
my
a
God.
Very spacious house.
Wait, because my question right now is, you can buy a house for $300,000 right now?
No.
Like,
and then 95 acres.
Jesus.
95 acres alone.
Jesus.
Today would probably be $1 million.
Jesus.
Because in my hometown, or the surrounding towns. So let's say Freeport.
Wait, remember
Florida.
that place that we were looking at when we were down there that they were selling that house that I liked and a whole bunch of land? How many acres was that?
2. I think it was 2 or 3. Wasn't that?
No, it was a lot. The little extra piece that you could buy was like 2 or 3 acres.
40.
Yes, and it was
40.
It was like 300,000, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's 40 acres.
That's half. It's half.
Yeah. No. So, man was smart. He knew real estate.
Yes.
And he probably did like Zach. He probably like
hounded
wheeled
them,
and dealed these people. Because
had them patience.
It is like out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So.
Did that whole, ain't nobody gonna buy this. You're just gonna sell it to me right
There's
now.
There's nothing on this. I can do so much with this property. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, moving on. I just thought that was amazing.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, not today. Not in 2022. But this is a while ago. That was like 2008, 2007. He was still leaving reviews on Amazon all this time under the profile me. He purchased a chainsaw with the review stating, "Works excellent. Getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it is hard enough without an easy-to-use chainsaw."
See, that's funny, though. That is funny.
I would read that and be like, that dude has humor.
Yes.
That's a good review. I want to buy that chainsaw.
Yes.
I wouldn't think he's legitimately murdering his neighbor.
Yes. I would think it's funny.
Which they still don't know who this person is yet. And this is what I was saying. I'll have more than likely, when they do more trials and stuff for him, have to do a part 2. Because there's just so much. Like all these reviews, they don't know if it's actual murders that he did or he was just being quirky. But regardless, I would probably be like Crystal and the people at BuzzFeed. I'd be like, this person is just pulling my leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be like, this dude is just making really funny reviews.
No, he was using these to murder people and chase them around in his backyard.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude is just wilding.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. When I saw several documentaries, they brought up the bystander effect. I don't know if you know what the bystander effect is.
Refresh me.
So there was a case, I don't know the specific, and it's where bystander effect came from. It was like a woman that was raped and murdered in the street, and so many people heard it and saw it. They just assumed that somebody else was had already called 911. But in reality, like 40 or 50 people in her apartment listened to her be raped and murdered.
And they all just assumed that somebody else did
called
something.
911.
Yeah.
So that's called the bystander effect. I don't know the specific. I just know that story, and that's where it came from. And in the documentary, like several people brought it up that this was probably just like somebody has to have seen this review before me and maybe like messaged Amazon or called the authorities and been like, hey, I just saw a really weird review on Amazon.
But who's also going to believe you if you said, I have a weird Amazon review, and they're going to be like, dude, someone's just writing.
I mean, yeah, it's a little weird, but, you know, it probably could have been bystander. There's probably a lot of people that were like, this is really weird, but somebody else probably did, you know? Okay, so we're just going to just go on forward, because like I said, it's kind of hard to get information out of this man because he likes to ramble and there's so much, and he's like taking accountability for a lot. Like some stuff he says happened before the 14-year-old, like when he was like 12 and 13 years old. But in late August 2016, 30-year-old Kayla Brown and her partner, 32-year-old Charles Carver, started working for Kohlhepp.
Okay.
So he hired him because he had bought this property like years before, and it's getting like overgrown. He's not taking care of it. It's just a lot of land. He didn't think it through. He's not a very good housekeeper. So he hired Kayla to like clean his house, and then Charles was hired to like clear up the property, make it look nice. He wanted some trees cut down, some brush like cut up and cleared out. So that's what he hired them for. So they come in, and it is almost 100 acres of land.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. Anyways, so everything seemed fine until August 31st. So they had been working for him about a month at this time. They were both reported missing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that didn't take long. I mean, I guess longer than I thought. A month, and then he was like, over it. Strange activity was happening on their Facebook accounts. An unknown person was posting as them. And,
what?
And even replying, that's how brave. Even replying on their, say he was on Kayla's Facebook, and they were asking about Charles. He would be like, oh, Kayla and Charles are fine. They're perfectly fine. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. That's like ballsy.
That's ballsy.
That's also very weird.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, he would be like, they're fine. He was posting for Kayla. Like, he was posting old pictures that she had in her phone, or like posting like they had got engaged. They were expecting a baby. Like, he was just posting stuff, and then he would get on Charles' account and be like, I'm madly in love with Kayla. We're doing so well.
What
and
in the world?
Their friends were like, no. Like, where's Kayla? Where's Charles?
Something's wrong.
We haven't seen them. Like, why aren't they commenting? Who are you? And he would just say, I'm me.
What? Like me from the Amazon reviews.
I'm me. They're fine. They're taken care of. And then, like, one person was like, okay, no, like, where are they? So she asked for them to do a oh my God.
Welfare?
Well, yeah, where, like, they go and check on, jeez.
Not gonna try to say it again.
Welfare?
Okay,
check?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, on them. They're not at their house. Because they live together. They do some digging. Because they honestly, the police don't know where. They don't know much about these people. Their friends haven't seen them in a month. And they don't have any much to go off of. They knew that they had started working for somebody, but they didn't know specifically. Like, they hadn't really...
They didn't really talk... You don't really talk about the exact details of the person you work for.
Well, this is why they think that they had only been there for probably a day when he did what he did. Because, like, nobody even knew who they were working for yet. It was like he hired them, and then the stuff happened.
Okay.
But they used their cell phone service and pinged the last location of their cell phones, and it was Todd Kohlhepp's property, like by his house to be specific.
Okay.
So the police go out there, and they're smart. They don't go to the house first. Well, they like see the house, and then they're like, they had already looked up the where you can go online.
Satellite view?
Where you can go online and you can see who's the last person that purchased the home.
Oh, yeah.
And how big it is and whatever. So they looked that up. They knew it was Todd Kohlhepp. They knew it was 95 acres, and then they knew where the house was. So they, like, found the house, and then they had people go out and, like, swarm the area. It's kind of dumb. He had 95 acres. Not too far from his house, they found a, they called it something else in the documentary, but it's a storage container. Or, like, you know, the containers, like, on the trains and stuff, and the ones they put on the boat, like, those big containers, with a two heavy-duty padlocks. Two of the padlocks that
I think I know this story now.
Yeah, remember I said this dude loved to buy, his number one bought thing on Amazon
was padlocks.
And it was, like, specific ones that are, like hard to cut off, you know?
Yeah.
That, like, people can't steal, and it's, like, the ones that clip, but it has the little clip, so you, like, have to really get in or do whatever.
Yeah.
He had a big padlock and then one of those on the storage container, and they kind of had, like, this is weird. And I'm glad these detectives felt like that, because they opened it and they find Kayla.
I've seen this video.
Yes.
I remember when this happened, because I remember them, like, people, like, publishing the video of them going in and finding her on a mattress or something way in the back.
It was literally, like, the detectives, like, kudos for them, following their gut, because when they got there, they said they had a bad feeling about this dude, and the property just felt like it was supposed to be a well-known realtor that was really well put together when he was in town, but the property was kind of
just gross.
Inside the house was bad, because, like, in the documentary, they, like, show him being arrested, and the detective was sassy with him, and I liked it. But yeah, they open up and Kayla's in there. She's on a really dirty mattress.
Yeah.
She's been chained up. She has like a
collar.
Remember I said the dog collar?
Shock collar.
The dog collar that he said he wasn't into.
Mm-hmm.
That he bought it off of. He said he bought it off of Amazon for Kayla because she wanted it. Yeah, it's really weird.
Okay.
They get Kayla out. Thank goodness he's been somewhat feeding and giving her water, so she's a little coherent. She tells them that Todd murdered Charles, like, fairly after they started working there, and has kept her locked up in this storage container for a month. And they get her out, and, as they're going around his property, they actually find Charles' car, which they both rode into Todd's house. And he did a really bad job. I'll have to find a picture for you to put up on the Instagram. He spray painted his car to look like a tree. Like a bush.
What?
Yeah. So he
What?
ran Charles' car into a ditch on his property and like put some branches and stuff and then spray painted the car. Didn't cover it.
No.
Yeah. I'm dead serious.
No.
I'm dead serious. And eventually they did find Charles's body. He had been shot and then buried on the property, and Kayla helped them with all this because apparently when Todd was coming into the storage container, he was like talking about Charles as if he was still alive, even though they had talked about how he had been killed and where he was together.
What?
So Kayla's okay. She gets rescued, thankfully. They go into the house finally, and they arrest Todd. And he just thinks that him and Kayla had been hanging out and had this, like, relationship, and that Charles was just buried in the backyard, and it was cool. Like, they were cool with it. Him and Kayla were good with it. And that Kayla had come on to him, and they had, like, kind of a sexual relationship, but Todd wasn't into all that. Like, he wasn't into all that. And that he was mad at Kayla because she was always wanting to eat out and was always wanting him to order food for her. And that every night she wanted him to order Little Caesar's pizza and have it delivered to the house. And she had to have a Mountain Dew with it. It was, like, getting mad that she was hungry. And this whole time they're doing the interview, the detectives are thinking, you had this woman tied up in a storage container in the back of your property. But yeah, he was arrested. There's a really long interview that I'm going to be sending to Crystal. It's on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half long of them just asking, or trying to ask him questions, and him just talking about random stuff he's bought on Amazon. And this relationship in his mind that he had with Kayla, and that Kayla's fine. She liked being in that storage container. It was like a kink thing for her. Like everything they would bring, yeah, everything that the detectives would bring up, it was a kink thing. But he's not into that. He made sure, like he kept saying, that collar, like I bought that for her, but like I'm not into that thing. He's like, and then some women want you to, like, drag them around with a leash, but I'm not into all that. As he had her, like, tied up with the collar.
What?
In the corner
in the world?
Yeah. So he was arrested, and during that interview is actually how we know about the motor sports store.
Because he confessed
murders.
to it?
He confessed them, because it had been unsolved all those years, and they're pretty sure that they keep interviewing him, because he's still in prison. He was convicted of 7 counts of murder, 3 counts of kidnapping, which they don't fully know. One of the kidnapping is a Kayla, and then one is Charles. They don't know who the third one is yet. He just has alluded that there's another kidnapping that.
I wonder if Wikipedia is up to date.
Last time I checked it, they still have 7 counts of murder. But he did recently just have another appeal, and his lawyer's bringing up some stuff, so maybe that means they're going to interview again. But as of right now, he's serving life in prison, because this is his second strike, basically, but also he murdered 4 people, well, 5, and supposedly 2 others, a man and a woman that they don't know the whole details on, and that's why I didn't want to speak on them, because they don't have the full details, and I didn't want to do it, you know, in injustice coming in here and mentioning their names.
Did they mention that on the documentary?
Yes, that they were murdered, but they don't know how. He just gave names. They don't even know where they are. Where their bodies are.
Oh, they haven't found the bodies on the property?
No, and it might not have been on the property. Like I said, he said that he has done stuff since he was like 12 or 13. And he says that he was like, that time in Arizona wasn't the first time.
That's
and I was
scary.
like, that's creepy.
That's
how's this man it's amazing he got away with this 4 murders.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is still serving time in South Carolina.
Probably gonna die in prison.
Since 2016, he's been locked up.
And
it's
so
wild.
gross.
And there was a lot more reviews. There was tons. I mean, this man spent a lot. Like, when they went in the house, there was packages everywhere.
Jesus. So he just had, like, a spending problem.
He had a spending problem. I don't even know. Anger issues. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but was not on meds for it. So, it's wild. We'll more than likely do a second episode on this. There was just a lot, and there's still a lot that they're doing with this man. If it's like that one interview I watched, I feel for these detectives to get him to sit still.
While we're in here, I want to look up the car so I can have a live reaction to it.
Oh my gosh, yes. You're gonna...
Todd Kohlhepp. I'm gonna just do...
Charles Carver car.
Charles. I'm gonna do, yeah.
Like, it's legitimately
car
painted like tan and green. Yeah. In a ditch that's not even like a ditch deep enough. You see it?
No. Yes.
Yes. Like, it's not even hitting. It's not
that
hitting.
Is so...
It's not hitting. And not far from that is where Kayla was being held in the shipping container.
That is so funny,
And you can look at pictures, too. When you walk in, it's like a thin mattress, and there's like a chain and a dog collar, and there's like, I think, a bowl for water and food, and like some wrappings and stuff. He had been giving her like fast food.
She's really pretty.
Yes. She is gorgeous. And her partner wasn't bad looking either.
Yeah,
sadly.
I see pictures of him, and this is like the pictures inside the storage can. That's so sad. I remember this when it happened. I remember seeing the video online of it. That is crazy.
I just didn't know it was called Amazon. I didn't know all the other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know all the other stuff either.
So when Zach showed me this, and I actually started doing research, and we were watching this together, he was like, oh, this is way more than Amazon. He was like, this is wild.
So, this, I don't know what you would call it, Greenville Online, I guess, from the state, I guess it's news. This says that this has the name of the other people, but I don't.
Yes, they do have the names. He's given them names.
It says and a woman. Yeah, it says they were found.
Oh, okay.
It says it was after he was arrested, though.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're married? They have the same last name?
Yes, it was a married couple. I think she has, like, red hair. They had pictures of them.
I don't have a picture.
But he didn't really, describe what happened or, anything. Just that he had murdered them.
This looks like it was something written about his sentencing.
Yeah.
That's so sad, dude.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. This man, he could have... If he hadn't have posted as them on Facebook, honestly, I feel like he could have got away with this.
Oh, yeah, dude. He could have. And,
did he
I guess he got
caught?
cocky.
Yeah. It was like, oh, Kayla and... this is how he said it. Oh, Kayla and Charles are fine. They're doing great. They're with me.
That's
and I was like,
gross. He got cocky. He got so cocky.
I was laughing at when they go in to arrest him. He's so calm.
Yeah, because he thought he was probably going to get away with it.
Like, yeah, Kayla's out there. And then, in the background, you see, stacks of Amazon packages.
That's so weird.
Crazy.
I think it's crazy that he says that they're more. That's just, but I don't know if that's even,
I'm just interested, because how many serial killers have we had that once they're in jail,
they start
talking. So who knows what he'll talk about. And it really is hard for them to get him to sit down and focus.
This man has spent more of his time, of his life in jail than he has out of jail.
15 years the first time. From 15 to 30.
And then...
In 2016 to now. Yeah, till the rest of his life, he's not getting out.
For the 60, yeah. Dude, that's gross, man.
Because he was born in 1971.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit older than my mom.
That is ridiculous.
Thankfully, Kayla survived. They don't know why he kept her alive. Like, why he murdered everyone else, but kept Kayla alive.
I don't know if this comment is actual, but this comment on this thing said that one of the victims, the one that they named, that they found, the husband and wife, apparently she was a waitress at the Waffle House he went to a lot.
Yes, it's something like that. That's how you described it. He saw her frequently. He ended up being somewhere where they both were, and that's how he murdered them.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's just what I didn't know any of that. It just said someone commented it.
Somebody said that they were the first Kayla and Charles.
What?
Somebody compared that was his test subject, and it went wrong.
What the heck?
He hasn't,
like, he wanted to keep her alive?
Yeah, but he hasn't gave all the details to police yet.
Like, about what happened?
Yeah, or like what went down or stuff.
Just,
like
they just know that
he
did it, yeah.
It's still, like, ongoing.
Dude.
Because I guess they have to have a trial for, like, each individual thing, I guess. Like, he was tried for the motorsport, and then he was tried for Charles and Kayla, and I guess the case is still going on for them. Because they didn't know about it when they arrested him. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's
weird,
weird,
it was, like,
dude.
something he let slip when he was being interviewed. When he was talking about Kayla.
That's scary, though.
Yeah. And when I saw somebody say that, I was like, I bet that's what it was. He probably already had that shipping container.
Mm-hmm. And he just put her in it.
Something happened. Maybe he accidentally killed her.
Or pushed her to the extreme, didn't feed her.
Something, yeah. And then he tried it again with Kayla, and it worked. Like, he could have kept Kayla in there for... Maybe the man was just lonely. I don't know. This is an interesting case.
I can't believe that was what... I knew about the girl being found in the shipping container, but I didn't know before we started this that this is what we were going to talk about.
It's crazy. You should have seen me and Zach's faces. And then I'm going to send you the
I know, I'm
link
going to make Tyler watch it with me.
It's crazy, because they're, like, sitting there, and the detective was like, well, did you, like, feed her? Because when we found her, she wasn't, like, completely emaciated.
Let me guess. She wanted to starve herself. She was into that.
No, she just was weird because she only wanted fast food. Like, and he was annoyed. Like, it had to be Little Caesar's Pizza, and it had to be a Mountain Dew. Oh, and she had to have a pack of Newports to smoke. Yeah. And they actually do find a pack of Newports in the shipping container, in the whatever you call it.
But you cannot convince me that she wanted all of that.
No. Like, what? I mean, if she did, like, that's on her. But I don't think she wanted her partner murdered.
No, I don't think so either.
And then his car badly hidden. That was
so dumb.
Can you imagine being the detective that found that?
I mean, like there's a car there.
The car's over here.
We found the car.
When I was watching the documentary, I was like, what? Like, he's spray painted the back, but then the whole front of the car is orange.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, 2 twigs.
Yeah. Okay.
This man's like a well-known real estate agent for the area.
You think he'd be a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
A little bit smarter. But, well, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Also amazing, it did not have cameras around his property.
I know, that
because
is weird.
the police, like, were all on his property and then went in the house and arrested him. And I'm like, what?
You'd think somebody who's so obsessed with Amazon would have jumped on, like,
a Ring camera?
Yeah.
At least. Some motion sensor, something. I don't know. Anyways, that is all that I have for you. This was a very interesting case. I don't even know how to feel about it. Like,
it's just crazy.
That's how I felt, and that's why I'm sorry if I was, like, laughing a lot and making jokes.
It's just unbelievable.
It felt like a movie.
Yeah.
It felt like one of those weird movies that you watch with your parents on the weekend, and you, like, can't turn... It's so cheesy and awful, but you can't turn it off and go to the next channel because you want to see how it ends. this is how it was. And yeah, his family still has no contact with him.
I don't blame them.
Really
I wouldn't either.
Really sad. Really sad. But that is all that I have for you. We will see you guys next week for the Twitch stream. There will not be an episode uploaded, but you can come follow us on Twitch. All the links are in our bio on Instagram, Bayou_Chronicles. We had that little nifty link tree. It takes you to wherever you need to go. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Drink some water.
Brush your hair.
Brush your teeth.
I'm going to the dentist here for my yearly cleaning, so go maybe schedule yours if you need to. I know it's a lot of anxiety.
You can do it online for a lot of people now.
You can. I was very proud of myself, and I'm going to go to this, and we're going to do this together. So take care of yourself, eat a meal, take your meds, and we will see you guys
next time.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.